Hey, hello. I am here with my good friend Kamikaza, and actually, I'll let you do the first introduction if you do not mind.
I'm doing the first introduction, yeah. Hello, I'm Maurice. I'm going by Kamikaze in the Pokemon community, and yeah, I'm very excited to be here and to be casting the next match, which is hopefully gonna be hype. And yeah, I managed to do pretty well this season, and hopefully I can do just as well in casting. Yes, in casting.
I believe you will. You're already Germany's pro player, rising star. Okay, as for me, I am Tam. As you can see, I'm a live Gastrodon. I've played in some world championships. I've cut some regionals, but I wouldn't say I'm an amazing player. However, I do care a lot about this game, and I think I will do well commentating. So I look forward to this.
Yeah, so let's bring us to the players, right? So we have an amazing players today. We have Polpolpo from Italy, again, going up against Lily from China, I believe. And
Yes.
yeah, two very expensive players for the two teams, for the Thunders and the Haoli Heat.
Oh, only Heat. Yes.
Haoli Heat, yeah.
So Polpolpo is a player who I would say kind of rose to prominence mostly in 2019 when he got fifth at EOIC, and at that time he used this very interesting shed shell Stakataka set, which to me suggests that he's a bit of a creative guy when it comes to team building. So I'm interested to see if that comes out in this particular set. And as you can see, he's got some more recent results as well.
Yeah, and Lily is in for us Westerners at least, a kind of unknown player, at least for me. For me, he was, but yeah, he was a very active player in single battles, as you can see, and he top cut World Cup TR with Team China in Series 10 back in 2021. And he actually managed to win the Rose Tower tournament yesterday, going up with the exact same six Pokemon, maybe even the same team that he's bringing today against Polpolpo. And yeah, I'm excited to see if he can manage to keep this win streak. And yeah, like winning the Rose Tower will probably give him a lot of momentum. Um, yes, exactly. And Polpolpo going up with the Reggie Eleki and Whimsicott, Heatran, Tapu Fini, Serena, and Nihiligo team, which is kind of funny because I played this team with great success yesterday in the tournament as well. So
Oh, it's the same team as you used. Okay.
yes, at least it's the same six, and yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how he will play it. No, it's not the same six, but it's similar because I had Celestina over Reggie Edeki. So Reggie Edeki gives you this like more speedy option, more immediately aggressive option. So
Yeah, it looks like a very aggressive team. I agree. Like between like the Lecky, just an aggressive mon in general, Nihiligo as well, shutting down stuff like Vincent Rillac Horse, and then Whimsicott to give you that tailwind, and I think often they run Encore as well. You do have some stuff to balance it out. I wouldn't say that Heatran
yes,
and Fini,
you
for
still have
example.
this infamous Firewater Grass core to do like
Yes.
some defensive switching. Like on Lily's side, we see a very interesting team with the Dragonite, which we don't see very often in this format. Spectre as well, the Nihiligo, and this Clefable that probably is there to do some damage and like less like damage reduction on the Pokemon thanks to the Friend Guard ability. And yeah, maybe we have some setuping action. I mean, we do see Nihiligo setting up with Meteor Beam as well quite often. So yeah, I'm excited to see how she will use the Clefable in the team. He will use also.
Yes, Clefairy is. I agree. It partners well with Nihiligo. I feel like a lot of teams can't like handle that specific combination of mons, and then you also have Spectre for maybe potential like setups and Dragonite being immune to that Intimidate with the Inner Focus, etc. So I agree. I'm interested to see how this plays out, and I would say like let's jump into the match.
Yeah, without further ado, let's go. Okay, so it seems like we'll have the perspective of Lily.
Yes,
And
it's hard for me to say who is like favored in this
oh no,
matchup,
I'm
but we
lying.
do see that Clefairy Nihilego lead that we
Oh
were
yeah,
theorizing a bit about.
and the Whimsicott Tapu Fini. So let's see. Like I played a choice specs Tapu Fini set. Let's see if he did end up bringing the same 6 because like I played the team with a friend and he's also a part of the team of the Heat team. So we will see if he has the same like Pokemon choice.
Yeah, the same set.
Yeah,
I
and we
would
do
say
see
that
the
like
choice specs set. So
straight off the bat. Okay, that is a spec set for sure.
yes.
But straight off the bat, the Fini and the Whimsicott are both quite threatened by the Nihilego here, and even with a specs, like it's not gonna do enough with Muddy Water to actually KO. However,
Not,
like
yeah, going back, like the Sludge Bomb will not do enough as well. So
yes,
let's see. Wait, does it
I mean with
maybe go for a Trick Room here? The Fini ends up being faster than the Nihilego. Not going for the
you're right.
Tailwind. Not going for the
He's
Tailwind. So.
expecting a Tailwind then, and that
Yeah.
means Polpolpo read it quite well. That's nice.
Yeah, he read it really well, and yeah, there the Nihilego goes for a Trick Room, and now I'm excited to see the new speed interactions because I do think that Tapu Fini might be slower than the Nihilego.
Yes, I agree. This is quite the play. Like I felt that the lead was very much not in Polpolpo's favor, but he's turned this around turn 1. Well done.
Yeah. So now it turns to like now it's very tough for Lily to come back from that position. Let's see if he maybe has a switch in, like maybe a Willaboom in the back, which most of the time carries that Assault Vest, boosting the special defense. And yeah, from the damage that the Tapu Fini dealt, you can probably guess that it's choice back. So yeah, you could bring in the Willaboom here quite safely. And we do
Yes,
see a
and
switch come out, and
that is the
there's
Rillaboom indeed. I agree, that's a very safe switch. The Finny being locked into Muddy Water just cannot touch the Rilla, and obviously it's very threatened by the Rilla in turn. Similarly, like the Whimsicott with Dazzling Gleam being its only offensive move, it's not going to be doing a ton of damage either. Alright, Moonblast from the Clefairy,
which ended up doing nothing. Oh, the Willaboom ends up avoiding the Muddy Water as well, so it actually does nothing, yeah. And the Clefable hangs on just by a thread.
that's right. The Clefairy is still going to be annoying with that Friend Guard. Probably, I would expect maybe protecting even. And we do see Polpolpo also making this rather safe switch to Heatran. I guess the one way this could go wrong for him is if Lily reads this and goes for a high horsepower into that slot, but that is quite the difficult read to make, so
yeah,
I don't expect to see it.
next turn as well, we still have the Trick Room up, and Willaboom most of the time is slower than a Heatran, especially in this team as you end up being a quite fast Heatran, and we do see on the HP stat that there's not much in HP investment involved, so it's still slower, so we could see the high horsepower. Oh, we end up seeing a Woodhammer. So
okay, it's entirely possible. Yeah, not possible he doesn't have high horsepower.
Yeah, Woodhammer being mostly used because of Serena's rising up in usage. So you do want the second grass type next to the Grassy Glide because Grassy Glide obviously gets blocked by the Queenie Majesty ability.
Yes, makes sense. That is a meta adaptation that makes a ton of sense to me. Alright, so from this position, it feels like Lily's kind of desperately trying to stall out that Trick Room. It's a big problem for his team, which is still rather, even with the Clefairy, you know, as a slow mon, it's still more of a fast team. It wants to go fast, it wants to be picking up KOs, but it's not really getting to do that.
Yeah, and I can't stress enough how big the turn 1 read was, not going for the Tailwind immediately, reading the Trick Room, or just thinking, you know, it doesn't KO me with Sludge Bomb anyway, so I'm fine with just going for Dazzling Gleam. Yeah, very, very good stuff there.
Yeah, I agree. And like even if Lily had not gone for Trick Room there, like the next turn, that meant that Polpolpo could have pressured with the Tailwind into a 1 HP
But we
survival.
do see the U-turn here, so it does go down in the end. So Lily will have the faster team most likely when the Trick Room expires, but there's still a few turns to go, so we have to see.
Yeah,
Okay,
Clefairy's still hanging on.
We did see Nihilego in the back, so there's one more Pokemon that is not being revealed yet. Same for Polpolpo. We do know that Tapu Fini is in the back, but the fourth Pokemon is.
And it looks like the fourth is Urshifu there.
Yeah, Urshifu coming. Oh, there's an Earth Power, so we do see kind of a playstyle from Polpolpo, going for aggressive reads, going for the read that Willaboom is gonna switch out probably into the Nihilego, which it didn't end up being, luckily for Lily. But we do see that Polpolpo is not afraid of going for those reads.
And I like that read on his end, because like that Rillaboom is feeling pretty pressured, so I think the switch makes sense. And similarly, like the Clefairy is also a bit scared. It doesn't really want to follow me in that sort of situation. So I can see why he did this. Makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of this like low risk, high reward plays. If he ends up going for the Nihilego switch, then you immediately kill it, probably win the game off of that. And if it doesn't, Willaboom probably does not carry the high horsepower and will not do tons of damage to the Heatran. So even if he does, for some reason, ended up not switching, he would still be fine. So yeah, very great plays that we are seeing here. Tapu Fini comes back now, and yeah, we do know it is specs, so it will probably be enough to KO this Urshifu. And
yeah, with a Gleam, that's a KO, no problem.
yeah,
So I'm not sure how Lily can come back from this position. It looks very, very tricky.
we have to see. I think we are in the last turn of Trick Room now. So after that, then the Urshifu will outspeed.
Right, so if the Urshifu is not a choice set, for example, it can at least protect here to stall out that Trick Room. So
Yeah.
that's something that we could see happen, but even from there, it's looking kind of rough. The Heatran is pressured by the Urshifu as well, to be fair. But then it's tough to get rid of the Fini if you don't have Rillaboom or Nihilego on the field.
It's definitely a very tough position. Let's see what decisions Lily ends up doing, trying to come back. We do see the protect of the
Clefairy.
here.
Yes.
Okay. And there's the double protect. So next turn, at least, the Urshifu threatens the Heatran.
So this
and
also
then-
reveals that it is not a Scarf or
Yeah.
Band set on the Urshifu.
Yeah, I mean, most likely you have to be pretty crazy if you go for protect on a choice Pokemon. But yeah, now you have this interesting interaction. Like, of course, the Dazzling Gleam is very obvious, but so is the Rillaboom switch. So what does your Heatran, for example, end up doing? Will you switch out your Heatran expecting a close combat? Will you stay in and just Heatwave expecting a switch to Rillaboom? So this is a really interesting turn. And if you go for the Heatran and let's say Lily decides to go for the close combat, then you at least get up a trade, and yeah, you have to kind of know your resource management well enough to see if this trade is worth it. But yeah, in the
I
end,
feel like
Polpolpo
I thought
went
Polpolpo
for-
was considering going for that heat wave, but
yeah.
didn't end up doing it, and that
Oh,
seems to have been the
that's
correct
amazing
call.
hand.
Yeah, I don't think Nihilego takes this. It has a very poor,
But
stat. Oh, okay,
What?
hang on.
The Tapu Fini is just straight up faster than the Urshifu here. I did absolutely not expect this. This is crazy. I mean, judging from my experience with this team, your Tapu Fini has a lot of speed investment, but it shouldn't be faster than an Urshifu. At least not if Urshifu has a normal amount of speed investment, like a normal Urshifu. So this is a very slow Urshifu that we see here, probably because of those trick room option. And yeah, like this was like neck breaking for Lily now.
Yeah, I'm always wondering if we didn't miss like Trick Room not being over.
No, Trick Room definitely was over now. So
Okay, very fascinating. I've never seen such a slow Urshifu either. I'm shocked that
it's
Athene
crazy.
would
So it's
outspeed it.
probably very bulky, but in the end it still dies to a Dazzling Gleam, especially from a choice back Tapu Fini, right? So game is still not over now. We have the grassy terrain pressure now. So Grassy Clyde coming out, it could obviously threaten the Tapu Fini, but also the Nihilego. It also does a lot of damage to Nihilego. Depending on the investment, it has even a chance to KO. So
I think at this point, pretty much all Nihilego will be EV'd for Rillaboom Grassy Glide, unless maybe it's Miracle Seed, but I would expect Assault Vest.
yeah,
Especially with a Wood Hammer, right?
Yeah. But then again, the Nihilego on Lily's end could set up here with like a fake out from Willaboom coming out, and yeah, let's see what happens. do see the protect,
Protect?
from Nihiligo. Interesting. Oh yeah, it probably doesn't even carry the setup now, right? If we think about, we have protect and Trick Room, so maybe it doesn't even have the Meteor Beam, which would be very interesting.
It could also just be Meteor Beam without Power Gem, which is a set I've seen before.
The Meteor Beam into the Protect, and there comes the Woodhammer. Does it go into the Nihiligo slot? And this will definitely be enough to pick up the KO, and wow. So, I mean, it's crazy, but Lily is still in the game, I would say.
Yeah, I agree. He is in the game, and well, I guess the one thing that will be difficult for him is getting rid of the Heatran. Yeah. Especially if, as you suggest, maybe this Nihiligo actually doesn't carry Meteor Beam, in which case I think it will struggle to damage the Heatran properly. So I'm curious to see what the full set is.
Maybe it's a very slow Tapu Fini as well, right? So maybe the Tapu Fini just ends up outspeeding it again.
Yeah, I would expect this Tapu Fini to be max speed, giving it outsped that Urshifu, and that suggests that it's going to be faster than that Rillaboom, which has now lost its terrain and can't go for those priority glides.
Okay, let's see what happens now. The moves are being locked in. It still looks like a pretty decent position for Polpolpo. Will there be... Oh, there's a double protect going on.
Oh my.
So Earth Power ends up doing nothing. The Rillaboom will probably survive the Choice Specs Moonblast here. It does survive from the damage roll. I would say it's probably it's most likely Assault Vest. And
but
now
we are ending up in a
2v1 situation. No, it does hang on.
Alas. So I think what Polpolpo needed to do there was double target that Rillaboom, because if, like, given there's a decent enough chance that maybe this Nihiligo just doesn't carry Meteor Beam, or if it does carry Meteor Beam, then it's just enough to KO.
We do see the Heatran being faster than the Nihiligo here, so it is a very slow team from Lily. Like, not max speed Nihiligo, not max speed Urshifu. It's very interesting. Like, the Heatran, if it is max speed, it's only a 141 speed. So there's a really slow Nihiligo, you know. Very interesting. Very interesting. So maybe the Trick Room at the start of the game wasn't just to counter the Tailwind, but also because like every Pokemon in this team seems to be slow. Although on the surface those Pokemon look pretty fast, you know.
Yes, I would expect that Spectrier is part of the fast mode, but evidently like the Urshifu is slow, the Nihiligo is slow. The Rillaboom doesn't really need a ton of speed investment, given it usually relies on glides. So I can see like what the idea is with the team here. It's basically trying to catch the opponent off guard with those surprisingly slow mons, and it didn't really work out here.
Yeah, that's certainly, but we will jump straight into the second game. I'm really excited to see any adaptation. Like, the Heatran was really a pain, and it seemed like Lily didn't really have anything to counteract the big damage a Life Orb Heatran is doing. So
he has to rely on Urshifu, and I also personally think that, like, now that Lily has kind of shown his cards, he's shown that, oh, my mons do this, my mons are this slow, you actually outspeed a ton of my mons, he's just not gonna be able to threaten Polpolpo in the same way.
Yeah, so it's becoming even a tougher matchup now, so very tough. We do see a lead adaptation here. The Clefable didn't really do too much last game, I wouldn't say. I mean, it did get the KO on Whimsicott, but another Pokemon would do just the same thing, I think. So, yeah, we are just seeing the Rillaboom and Nihiligo lead with the Nihiligo and Whimsicott on Polpolpo's end.
Yes, this is an interesting lead adjustment, and I would say that even with the Nihiligo threatening a Sludge Bomb, the Rillaboom here might be happy to go for like a Woodhammer trade perhaps, and that might be what we end up seeing here. Yes. Yeah, I think it will actually KO itself with Recoil this time.
Definitely will. So we do see a kind of one-to-one trade, and Nihiligo ended up not taking any damage. I think it will probably go for the Trick Room again, if I would guess. There it is.
You did guess correctly. So now the question is what Lily, like how Lily's gonna make use of this Trick Room. We know about the Urshifu, but we see Polpolpo going into that Finny here, like. Yeah. The Urshifu does not want to be facing down two fairies, right?
Like we did see the Nihiligo, the Nihiligo being slower than the Tapu Fini, which means that it will now underspeed it. in Trick Room, but the Whimsicott carries the Encore, and because Nihiligo did go for the Trick Room the turn before, it's now basically locked by the Encore. But the Clefable comes in, could like redirect the possible Encore. So
yes, I like this adjustment with having like the Clefairy in the back. Partly because, as you say, this allows him to avoid that Encore trap kind of. So now this is a little more of a problem, but we also have this Muddy Water coming out that's gonna be doing a lot of damage. We know that even with the Guard, it was doing over 50, right? So that Nihiligo is still a bit threatened here.
Yeah, but still, Nihiligo is it's weird
It's
to
slower.
say, but Nihiligo is slower than the Tapu Fini, so it will get the Sludge Bomb off first. Probably won't be enough to kill. Although, I mean, you could go with Modest, even if you are that slow. So let's see. We do see a Protect here, so the Moonblast probably going off now.
Yeah, I'm surprised by the Protect. I expected just Follow Me and Sludge Bomb, but it seems like he wants to, I guess, break the sash on that Whimsicott. I wonder if he's gonna go after Whimsicott instead of Fini.
Oh, the Clefable is still taking 40%. Which is crazy, and yeah, we are basically in the same situation that we were in last turn. So let's see. Yeah, Heatran is a pretty safe switch as well, I would say, if he ends up going for it. But
it's possible Lily was scared of that switch as well.
Yeah, so probably just going for scouting here as well. Like it's really clever if you think about it, because like the situation on the turn now is exact the same. So you can Sludge Bomb the same way as you could the turn before. You can redirect the potential Encore from the Protect lock and just go for a Sludge Bomb now. Let's see what they end up doing.
It seems like Polpolpo was gonna protect that Whimsicott, so
I'd switch in Heatran, so Sludge Bomb wouldn't do it too much now. We do see a Protect, we don't see switch out from Lily here, so see, there's the Follow Me, so probably a Follow Me Sludge Bomb now. There it is, the Sludge Bomb going into the Heatran, but of course Heatran being a Steel type, right? Taking it like a boss.
Didn't matter giving that Whimsicott protected. I think if Polpolpo had instead, Encored, for example, with the Whimsy, getting a bit greedy, then Lily could have made a read there and gone after the Whimsy instead, getting that, special attack boost, but that's not what ended up happening. So
yeah, like Polpolpo playing really safe here. He probably thinks he has the matchup advantage as well. Like all the tricks Lily had up his sleeve in game 1 didn't work, so he plays it basically by the book, but it just seems like it's enough,
but now there's a little bit of a pin position, because even though the Nihiligo doesn't KO with the Sludge Bomb, it's doing a good chunk of damage to that slot no matter what, right? Unless Polpolpo goes for a double protect, but he did not.
And that is definitely a good chunk, and that is probably a modest Nihiligo, and now Polpolpo is all of a sudden in a bit of trouble, because the Tapu Fini is choice back, so it can't protect from the Sludge Bomb that's coming now, so
yeah, precisely. Yeah. That slot is actually pinned this time. So this Nihiligo is gonna be getting that special attack boost.
Yes. There's the Follow Me again.
And that's the other thing, I don't know how much Heatran's doing here. It might not be enough to even KO the Clefairy. So that's quite rough as well.
The sacrifice of Whimsicott that we were talking about, probably most likely going to be a special attack boost. There it is, and the taunt coming out actually, going into the Clefable. So Clefable not able to redirect as the Trick Room runs out, and we know Heatran is faster, Tapu Fini is faster than the Nihiligo, so Nihiligo is in trouble now.
Yes, as it stands, that Nihiligo slot is pressured. The Heatran can just go for an Earth Power and be faster. So most likely a switch may be coming from Lily, depending on what he has in the back.
Yeah, in the back we do expect the Urshifu, right? So what I would do in Lily's perspective is probably just Moonblasting the Tapu Fini slot, because I mean Clefable is not that strong, but it will pick up the
The KO, yes.
Tapu-Fini, yes, and protecting the Ligo. We do see the protect, we do see the Earth Power, and a Dazzling Gleam, I think, which is interesting that it locked into Dazzling Gleam. Remember, it is choice back, so if it ends up being a 1v1 between the Nihiligo, which is slower than the Tapu-Fini, and the Tapu-Fini, Dazzling Gleam will do nothing, basically, to the Nihiligo.
Yes, you're right. I think that is the nicer play in hindsight. It's considerably less risky, and now you get what I assume is the Urshifu. Indeed, it is an Urshifu. And this is threatening that Heatran pretty big time.
But we saw that Urshifu is slower, so if it carries the Sucker Punch, you can probably just Sucker Punch the Fini here, and then you end up being in a 1v1 position against the Heatran. In the end.
This is Water Urshifu.
Oh, it is Water Urshifu. Okay, so
yes, it has Aqua Jet
doing the same thing. Okay, yeah, my bad. And we do see the Earth Power coming out. Yeah,
this is still a lock for Lily. Yes.
It looks pretty good for Lily, and nice comeback there. So she ended up doing the greater plays that we didn't even see, and yeah, coming back from this. I mean,
yeah, I feel like this was an uphill climb for Lily, though. I feel like the matchup is rather rough.
The matchup is rough, but as you could see, like taking the trade turn 1, removing the Nihiligo, which ended up like being good for his own Nihiligo, because it then could pin the Tapu-Fini and the Whimsicott, while preserving the Urshifu in the back against the Heatran. So we will see a game 3, which is very exciting, and yeah, now Polpolpo all of a sudden has to adapt, because we did end up seeing the Trick Room coming out on top here.
Yes, agreed. But like even with the Trick Room, I feel like there was a lot of positioning going on. I feel like the Encore from Whimsicott was a big threat. So it'll be interesting again to see if they stick to the game 2 leads, or if one of them switches things up, or if both of them switch things up.
Yeah, let's see. So Lily decides to go for... I said he can't read Chinese, but I'm very excited. We do see the Rillaboom Nihiligo again. It worked for game 2, so bringing out the same thing in game 3 as well. And Heatran Tapu-Fini here as a lead. Tapu-Fini ends up being faster than the Rillaboom. I mean,
yes.
In this team, it's...
We kind of saw that one coming.
Yes,
but what is different here is that the Nihiligo is immediately threatened by the Heatran.
Yeah. But so is the Tapu-Fini threatened by the Rillaboom's Classic Light, right? So, let's see what ends up happening. And we did see the first adjustment here. Polpolpo benching the Whimsicott, figuring it won't do too much against the Clefable, or like against anything if it can be redirected. So he ended up bringing the Serena. Yes,
so we will see if Lily falls for that and actually goes for a fake out here, or if he simply attempts to Woodhammer that Fini, perhaps reading that there might be a Serena in the back, right? Because Whimsicott in the back, that's not really something you see very often. It's more of a lead mod.
He could go for like a U-turn as well, like predicting the switch out, still breaking the focus edge on Whimsicott that you would probably expect coming in here, and we do see a switch. Please tell me it's the Dragonite. No, it is the Clefable. Okay. But Clefable is still able to tank those hits pretty well. Polpolpo ending up not going for the Heatwave, which is pretty fortunate for Lily here, because yeah, he still has the Rillaboom at full health here.
Yes, and that Woodhammer is what we do see going into the what was previously a Tapu-Fini, and it does like do a very good chunk to that Serena. I'm not gonna lie.
Almost 40%. So the U-turn would probably do just as much. So Serena is not in a great spot here, but then again, there's the Heatwave pressure as well, right?
Yes, that Heatwave is scary. I would say that maybe what we see here is a U-turn, because with Assault Vest and Friend Guard, we should be alright. Not sure there's any other play you might want to make here, given we know at this point that this Rillaboom, it can't really threaten that Heatran. It's not a high horsepower set, most likely.
Yeah, if Lily carries the Protect on Clefable, you could consider doing the same thing, but no! Going onto the offensive, Helping Hand, probably hoping that the Woodhammer will kill this Serena. Still, there is this chance of getting a burn on the Rillaboom, which would be massive. No burn coming out.
No burn.
Oh, there's a helping hand U-turn. And will it be enough? I do think it will. And there it is. Wow. So Serena immediately going out of field.
Very
next time
cool
Rillaboom
helping
comes
hand
in,
play.
It can go. Yeah, it was a really great play. I didn't see that
I feel
coming.
like
So.
I feel like Wooly saw the damage that Woodhammer did, and then just basically was able to calculate that, oh, a helping hand U-turn here is going to be enough.
Yeah, and now what I want to say now, like Rillaboom, if it comes back in and has the Grassy Glide, it can pressure the specs Tapu Fini because there's no Serena in the back, you know. So wow, great play by Lily, taking the heat run like a boss with the assault with the help of Friend God. We like reducing the damage, and we do see the Nihiligo coming out now. So
yes, I really
Nihiligo
like the
not
play,
too threatened about now.
Really, I mean, there is that Earth Power from Heatran, and I would.
But you still have the redirection, right?
Yes, but not for much longer.
That's true.
The Tapu Fini most likely coming back in again, and you know, given we know that the Heatran and Fini both outspeed this Nihiligo, I think it's looking kind of rough. Or maybe it's gonna be Nihiligo instead. We will see.
Yeah. The thing is, I mean, Tapu Fini would probably be the better bring here now, given that it can hit the Nihiligo for super effective and with the choice specs as well. But,
I must disagree. I think Nihiligo is correct, because now you can KO that Clefairy, right, which is being rather pesky, and immediately threaten that KO with Heatran while outspeeding both mons. So this is a pretty rough spot for Lily.
Yeah, that's true, and you do have to keep in mind that like the Tapu Fini in the back still has the terrain, that it can like override the grassy terrain when the Rillaboom comes in, because as we said, that the Rillaboom is now free to go for grassy glides if it can come in. So yeah, we do see the follow me now, but as you said, it will definitely be enough. Like the sludge bomb will definitely be enough. So we
is Lily just sacking both mons?
Yeah, it seems like she is.
Oh dear, that's basically a loss right there. On the other hand, I'm not sure like if there was a way to come back from this position, because
I don't think the game is over quite yet, because you do have to keep in mind he will. Oh, it's Sash. That's even greater. Oh, a Sash is even better, because now you get off the Trick Room and now you can bring in your Urshifu, and then you will like. Of course, you have to like read which Pokemon Polpolpo is gonna switch out, but you can take a KO here. So the Sash being a surprise there, we both didn't think about this, and like now it's probably looking really good for Lily again. Like this is a great match. It's like back and forth, left and right. It's crazy.
Fascinating, actually. I didn't see the Sash coming, but in hindsight, perhaps I should have. We know that this is a slow Trick Room Nihiligo, and we also like from their Shifu being slow, I would like expect it to, you know, maybe be like a lot of like HP investment, a rather bulky one. So given this, it makes sense.
Lily has to call now which Pokemon ends up switching out, and if he calls it correctly, he will probably run away with the game here. Let's see if he calls the Heatran switching out here and like going onto the Nihiligo, definitely taking the knockout with the Searching Strikes. We do end up seeing the Searching Strikes coming out. Which Pokemon is he attacking? He ends up attacking the Nihiligo. So wow, the Nihiligo going down now. And I mean, Tapu Fini can't switch out anymore. So the next time the Rillaboom comes in, it finally threatens this Grassy Glide, probably being able to knock out this. And we do see the Power Gem going out into the Tapu Fini, and wow, what a comeback! This is crazy. Now Heatran comes in, getting outsped by this slower Urshifu in the Trick Room, and it's looking rough, because like Heatran can't even protect.
Yes, this is a total lock for Lily at this point. The Sludge Bomb, and Polpolpo knows. Polpolpo knows.
We do even see the
going for that forfeit.
Yeah. Wow. What a game! Like, this game was absolutely crazy.
That was quite the roller coaster. I thought it was lost for a minute.
Like, this was crazy, and especially because we said, and I still believe that it's true, that Lily ended up revealing so many key parts of the team, like all of the slow things, that he has to go for the trick room against his team and still losing game 1 and then coming back with like a win in game 2 and game 3. Absolutely amazing. Like it was great, and we did see the strength of this team, and which helped him win this game as well as the World Tower tournament on the weekend, like yesterday.
Yes, I agree. Like, especially as you said, and I think as we discussed a little bit, the fact that Lily had to reveal so much about his team game 1, only to not clutch that game 1, I thought was gonna be a big problem. But then in game 3, I think we did not see that sash on the Nihilita until game 3, and that
Yeah.
caught me a little off guard. Maybe I feel like I should have suspected it, and maybe Polpolpo feels this as well in hindsight. Maybe he should have suspected it after he saw that Urshifu wasn't sash. But
yeah, we talked about it probably not being Meteor Beam because of the move slots. You have the Trick Room, you have the Protect already, so fitting a Meteor Beam in the last 2 move slots is kind of rough. But honestly, I didn't think about the sash, and neither did Polpolpo, as it seems. And yeah, it was just crazy. You know, Polpolpo could have went for the taunt as well, but he just probably thought about taking the easy knockout with the off power, and yeah, it ended up costing him the game, which is I mean, sad for him, but honestly crazy played by Lily, and like a crazy team. So yeah, with this 8th match between these 2 teams, the final score now is 2-6 for the Thunders. So Lily's team ended up winning.
It's 6-2 for the Thunders. So yes,
Yeah,
as you said, Lily's team. You said 2-6. Lily's team did indeed win, and I have to say, like, their whole team looks very interesting. They have a bit of a Japanese core, a bit of a Chinese core, and those are regions that are well known for their creative team building, as we saw in this match as well.
Yeah, we did.
Right. So excellent match, very exciting, and we will be moving on to the next match soon. So
yeah, this will be between Ben Build and Mu Feng, and yeah, so
don't go anywhere.
Yeah.